Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everyone. First, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. In this session, we're exploring the 7 factors to consider when choosing the right CCM platform for your organization. These factors will ultimately help you make a more confident and informed decision about the future of your tech stack. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items to go over. If you have any questions, feel free to add those in the chat or in the questions box in your GoToWebinar slide, and we'll answer those during the live Q&A at the end. We'll also have some items in the handouts area that we'll go over at the end and share with those after the recording, and share the recording with you guys, of course. I'm Lawrence White. I'm the VP of Sales here at Ghostdraft, and I've had the pleasure to serve the insurance industry for over 20 years. Also joining us today is Angie Wynn. Angie is Ghostdraft's VP of Business Development and Alliances with over 25 years of experience in communications software. Finally, we have Layla Muth, Ghostdraft's Director of Pre-Sales, who has 20 years of experience in delivering software to the insurance industry. Feel free to turn your cameras off at this point so we are not a distraction. Okay, let's cover some of the top reasons organizations decide to invest in a new CCM platform. In a competitive industry with rising customer expectations, customer experience has become the key battleground for market dominance. And the organizations that are doubling down on building engaging customer communications to deliver consistently superior experiences are seeing 30% higher profitability, according to a McKinsey study. While efficiency and cost savings is almost always a concern for organizations, the recent pandemic has pushed this to the top of the priority list for many. And this has become a key trigger to modernizing CCM systems. The biggest shift is the increased priority of digital initiatives among businesses. According to Aspire, 77% of senior executives are investing in digital and cloud over the next 12 months. In fact, a recent Aspire study found that post-pandemic consumers want more personalization, channel choice, and a consistent experience across all mediums at every stage of the customer journey. As a result, organizations have noted an 18% increase in demand for omni-channel communication capabilities between 2019 to 2020. Many organizations have also put a higher priority on improving the customer experience with an increase of 21%. And 77% of companies are focusing on digital transformation, including CCM modernization, a 35% increase over 2019. In this study, Aspire also discovered that organizations who emphasize digital communications enjoy 42% higher revenue growth than their peers who still rely on static, outbound communications. No matter what size your company is, the right CCM software can help you stay competitive by allowing you to create personalized omni-channel touchpoints at scale, streamline content management to get to market faster, and provide unique and engaging experiences. However, choosing the right CCM for your business isn't easy. So we've worked with industry experts to put together key questions to ask when considering a new CCM platform. Let's get started. The first factor to consider when choosing a CCM solution is the platform's user interface. Many, if not all systems, will claim they have an easy-to-use platform, but that isn't always the case. To determine whether the platform's UI will be easy for you to learn, request a demo and ask yourself, can business users author and test dynamic documents independent of IT? While developing personalized documents requires data mapping, business users should still have the ability to design, create, update, test, and manage robust content. Look for a system that provides a data mapping interface for IT users and an authoring environment designed for business users, connected by a domain model. Is the platform easy to navigate, and does it include contextual information? Try adding variable data to a form or creating a workflow and see if these simple tasks are difficult to complete. For proprietary authoring environments, look for contextual information below or when you hover over tools. Do you have to jump through multiple hoops to complete a simple task? If so, this can hinder your efficiency in the long run. A learning curve often exists when jumping onto a new platform, so make sure you're able to test the user interface of the solution to determine how quickly you'll be able to get up to speed and get to work. All right, how important is user interface when selecting a CCM platform? Well, according to IDC, companies have seen a 32% increase in improved internal collaboration using a modern CCM solution. They've also recognized 30% higher employee productivity and 26% increase in document generation efficiency. This means that finding a CCM system with a powerful yet easy to use UI will help you drive efficiency and save time. Each CCM platform will offer different features, so make sure you're choosing software that has the capabilities that you need. Also, consider the existing technology you already have or are planning to implement and would want to integrate with your new CCM system. When comparing platforms, ask yourself, does the platform have the features you need? Making a list of must-have and nice-to-have capabilities before doing research can help you stay focused on choosing the right platform. At the end of this webinar, we'll share with you a Ccm Capability Checklist to help you get started. Does the system natively integrate with your existing technologies? This will speed up the implementation process while making it easier to connect and transfer data across your existing platforms. And does the system have an open API? This can be essential to consider if you plan to integrate your platform with electronic signature apps, document storage platforms, homegrown systems, or other third-party solutions. When evaluating CCM vendors, remember to refer back to your goals and challenges often. This will help ensure your new platform will meet your business priorities. Having modern capabilities like personalized video or interactive graphs in your CCM platform can greatly increase your engagement. In fact, IDC found that organizations who leverage innovative CCM solutions see a 27% increase in customer engagement. Also, having reusable content and style guide capabilities will help you ensure brand consistency across all of your communications. Finally, finding a pre-integrated solution can save you on average 2 to 3 months during implementation. So it's key to remember to ask if the provider integrates with your document storage, CRM, core systems, and other technologies. Cloud technology is becoming more important than ever as organizations seek to take advantage of the quick provisioning, reduced costs, and maintenance, scalability, and other benefits. Determining your preferred application hosting prior to starting your research is essential. Once you've decided how you'd like to host your CCM solution and start evaluating platforms, ask yourself, is this platform an omni-premises solution? There are 3 main types of hosting options: cloud native, cloud-based, and on-premises. If you're like many who prefer a cloud solution, we recommend a cloud native platform that's flexible, built to scale, and minimizes the risk of disruption due to the microservice architecture. Will this platform scale to align with our future growth? A growing business needs a scalable platform in order to manage all your history, assets, data, and workload. As your organization matures, it becomes critical to have the necessary support of scaling with growth. Can this platform meet our security requirements? Ensure that the CCM provider offers security certifications and uses Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services to deliver the highest level of cloud security. You should also consider if the CCM platform plans to store customer data instead of connecting to other systems that hold that information. Choosing a CCM partner that has domain expertise in terms of your particular business area is critical. Companies that work in banking have different requirements and issues than P&C insurers, for example. Find a partner who has a proven understanding of your market and the customers you serve to get the best technology and services for your business. When evaluating vendors, ask yourself, does this platform provide pre-built templates for my industry? Leveraging a communications management platform with plenty of features and functionality is crucial, but you also need a technology partner with industry domain expertise. Nowhere is this more important than in the pre-existing content, such as bureau content. Do other companies our size in our industry use this platform? Lacking industry expertise limits the vendor's ability to help you use your solution to address critical business issues that are specific to your organization. Additionally, a vendor with a vertical focus will often build new tools and services designed specifically to meet your market's unique needs. Can this platform meet our security requirements? Already covered. How much flexibility does this platform offer to create customized workflows? Communications processes vary from industry to industry and even company to company. Make sure your new CCM platform is easily configurable to meet your workflow requirements, permission sets, approval processes, and more. Finding a vendor with industry expertise is far more important than having CCM expertise. You expect a vendor to have in-depth knowledge of their own solution, but if they don't know your market or the challenges you face regularly, you could add considerable time, effort, and money to your communications transformation journey. In summary, Celent said it best: industry-specific software translates into faster upgrades, better technology strategy, less downtime, and less end-user frustration. And Novarica has found that getting a CCM system with pre-configured content can save you an average of 39% of work hours. When purchasing a new and unfamiliar system, you'll want to receive the best help possible, and having readily available resources can help you get the most out of your new platform. While some kind of technical support and services are usually provided, the quality can differ. When choosing a platform and researching their support and services options, ask yourself what kind of customer support and educational resources are available. While support has become table stakes, you should ensure that the CCM provider you choose offers phone support, email, or live chat to help you connect with an expert to resolve unique issues. You should also consider a vendor's training and educational resources. Some providers offer one-to-one training, guides, or how-to videos that can help you learn how to use the tool and get to work. What professional services are offered? You'll need a vendor who provides flexible services to help you get up and running quickly. Look for a partner who can provide self-service, project service, and fully managed services to meet your unique needs throughout the life of your partnership. Are the support and services staff experienced in my industry? Much like we discussed before, when accessing companies' support and services, you don't want to spend time explaining the basics of your business. The vendor you choose should offer staff who have experience in the market you serve to provide assistance, make recommendations, or become an extension of your team. Throughout the life of your business, you'll need a partner who's committed to helping you along your journey. A good partner is the one who considers your communications as their own rather than installing software and leaving. The all-important topic of pricing. Pricing structures can differ from platform to platform. You'll want to consider both the upfront and the long-term costs when purchasing a CCM solution. When researching pricing for different solutions, ask yourself, does the platform use a subscription or a perpetual-based model? There's a shift in demand for subscription-based pricing models, yet many CCM vendors still use legacy perpetual-based pricing. Partnering with a SaaS-priced provider allows you to operate on a pay-as-you-go method with no huge initial investment. This means your new CCM solution can be treated as an operating expense, which of course most CFOs prefer. What's the base price of the platform and what are the upfront costs? The cost of a new CCM solution typically goes beyond the base price. You'll need to take notice of licensing, training, maintenance, services, support, and any hardware costs associated with your new potential system. Is the pricing all-inclusive, or will you have to give up features or users for a lower price? Getting a CCM system that will grow with you means that you don't want to compromise capabilities or seats for a lower price. While most vendors only offer pricing based on the number of users or a packaged capability, look for a vendor who empowers you to take full advantage of their platform from day one. As a rule of thumb, the simpler and more transparent a company is about their pricing structure, the better. Jumping on a call with a sales rep can also be an easy way to figure out exactly what the price will be based on the features and services you need. In 2019, Aspire asked businesses about their CCM purchase preference. At the time, 42% wanted a CCM platform with perpetual-based pricing. 43% were in the process of moving to a subscription-based plan, and 13% preferred paying for their CCM solution via a subscription. And then, of course, as always, a couple of people weren't really sure. As more and more companies shift to the cloud, the benefits of subscription-based pricing will become more apparent in the market. Like with most core system investments, you want to create a foundation for evolution when purchasing a new CCM solution. In a competitive market with ever-changing customer expectations, your communication solution will be your foundation for speed to market and ease of doing business. Make sure the system you choose is up to the challenge of growing with your business and with the market. When comparing vendors, ask yourself, how often does the platform deliver major releases and new features or products? When searching for a CCM partner, look for a company who continuously invests in their technology, adding new and emerging components. This will future-proof your communication solution and help you stay ahead of changes in digital and consumer behavior. How long has the platform been on the market, and when was the last major release? While it's important to have a vendor with a proven track record, be sure to ask what versions are supported and to see their product roadmap. This will provide a proof of their innovation as well as a plan for the future. Will we outgrow this CCM solution at any point? Many organizations are struggling with legacy technology that hasn't kept pace with modern customer needs or capabilities. Ask about the CCM provider's innovation strategy to ensure they're developing tools and services that'll meet your future requirements. Having a partner that invests in innovation to not only keep up with industry trends, but solve problems that haven't yet been solved will help you find the last CCM solution that you'll ever need. As you consider the innovation strategy of your potential CCM partner, it's important to determine your immediate needs, the market demands, and of course, your future requirements. IDC discovered that by 2023, 65% of consumers will be using voice, images, and augmented reality to interact with brands. While many industries aren't ready for these innovative communication methods, be sure your CCM platform has these capabilities, or at least plans to implement them for a future-proof solution. In that same study, IDC predicts that 45% of organizations will use smart personalization for context-based customer engagement by 2023. And SMA found that 77% of companies plan to interact with customers using chatbots within the next 12 months. So make sure your CCM solution of choice is keeping up with consumer demands as well as your internal needs. At this point, I think we're ready for a demo from Ghostdraft. So I will hand you over to Angie Wynn. Angie, take it away.
All right, thanks, Lawrence. Just a little system check here. Do you hear me, and can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. All right, so thanks everybody for participating in our webinar, and I'm going to give you just a really brief overview of Ghostdraft. We're not going to hit obviously on all the capabilities of the platform, but to give you some sense for how our technology works and what it looks like. So what you see on the screen right now is Ghostdraft Hub. This is the front door into the Ghostdraft world. The landing page on Hub has a few things that are interesting. The first of which is an activity stream, so I can see what's been going on in the environment. I can just look to see my activity, or I can see everyone's activity. I also can see recent projects, so that's specific to me. Just tells me kind of quick links to recent things that I've been working on. Across the top here, you see the communication life cycle. So design, specify, author, map data, review and test, and then deploy. For today, we're going to drill down into the design and specify capabilities. So within Ghostdraft, I can create an inventory. So this happens to be a farm owner's project, and I have an inventory of forms. A couple of things to see about my inventory is you'll see that it's kind of a tabular column-driven form. I also have a little arrow here I can click on to get an expanded view, which shows me additional information. Both of these views, both the column view and the expanded view, are completely customizable. If I click here on the little wheel, you'll see these are the fields that I've selected to have in my grid. These are the fields I've selected to have in my expanded view. And then there's some additional fields that I don't have available or visible in either view. But if we drill down into a particular form, I'm going to come down here to this guy right here. You'll notice then that all the values are available. So I will point out that there are metadata values that are being captured about forms that aren't necessarily used within the Ghostdraft platform, but we find that it to be really convenient for all that information to be captured in one location. An example of that would be the form inclusion rules. So this particular example would attach when the coverage for extended livestock with winter perils is selected. So that the actual triggering of that rule will happen in the policy administration system. But again, users find it convenient to have all of that information in one location, even if it's not technically used by Ghostdraft to, say, trigger the form. All right, so across the top here, I have some tabs. First one we're going to look at is the annotated spec. So I imported a PDF so that we can see what this form looks like, and you will notice that it's a form that requires a piece of variable data. It needs a limit right here. So I'm going to block that little area and say add a field. I then have to capture some information about that. So this is my livestock limit, and I want it to be currency and format it with a dollar and commas. It's a mandatory field, and then I'll just hit save. So you'll notice now once that's saved, it puts a little number there that when I click on it, it takes me to that particular field. So through the specification module, I can annotate to the developer who's going to actually develop this form the rules about how the form should behave, where variable data goes. I'm going to flip back over here to my inventory and drill down into this quote proposal just to show you an annotation that's got a little bit more to it. So this is a quote, so it's a little bit more complex. And you'll see on the cover page, there's several little dots here, again, that point to particular fields, right? So the insured name comes back down here. He was in the wrong place. So these things represent these variable data that's here. You also see that I have the ability to add comments. So this particular comment talks about the fact that a different logo should be used when it's a certain writing company. This particular comment talks about, hey, there's an example of what two address lines look like. So if I went to the samples area, I see that I can look at this particular example here, and it would show me an example of two address lines. So within Specify, I can capture all of those rules about how a form should be automated, which is particularly important, of course, if it has complex data rules to it. As I'm performing those tasks, as I'm adding annotations and adding comments, those things all get captured in the history. So if I ever want to go back and figure out, you know, when did I make this comment, when did I add that rule, et cetera, available in my history, and that my history is searchable, et cetera. All right, I'm going to go back to my inventory, and I am going to take this first form, which we see is a static form, and I am going to assign that guy for development. So because it's a static form, I don't actually need to do any annotations on it. There is no variable data that prints to it, but it does need to be included in the Ghostdraft development tool so that it then becomes available for inclusion in a policy. All right, so I'm going to assign this this form, or notify Layla that this form is ready for development. And you'll see that my inventory now is going to update, and it tells me that that guy is in a stage of development. All right, so I'm now going to hand over to Layla, and she's going to take it from this point and show you Ghostdraft Studio, which is our form development tool.
All right, hello everyone. Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Okay, and can we see my screen?
We see Studio.
All right, perfect. That is good news. So as Angie mentioned, she assigned the document to me, and so I got an email from her, or from Ghostdraft, saying, I'm going to be the role of a BA working on these forms. And so it is going to come up, and I'm going to pull it over so that you can see this. I just got this template being moved into the development phase. If I click on this to click on the link, which I already did, so I don't have to do it twice, what pulls up is what you've seen Angie working on earlier. So it just gives me all of the information about this form. I'm seeing that it's a static form, which means that I don't have to verify any parts of the annotation. And I can come over here and I can download this document. And then what I'm going to do is download it, and then I'm going to pull it into my Studio project, which you saw that I already had open. So I don't want to do anything off camera here. Here's the document. That's what it's called. And so I'm going to my Studio project. I'm going to come into my documents. I'm going to add existing. This is a PDF. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to convert it into a Ghostdraft document. So you're seeing the Ghostdraft Studio. I'm going to get into the components in a minute, but this is how it is to pull in those forms, right? Obviously, I have a PDF, but I can also import Word documents if that's what the document is being worked on. Now that green line that went across this page, that was our source control, and we use Subversion to manage the history, the check-ins, the checkouts, who did what, when, why, and how. So that's it. You can see here is my form. It's now part of my project. I can create another folder to select for static documents if I want to do something like that, but there it is. It's already just imported, and that is as easy as it is to pull in a document. Now, let's get back to Ghostdraft Studio. So as you can see, it has a pretty similar look and feel to Word, and we like to say that we were inspired by Word. We were inspired by their interface, but because what it does is it allows users to feel an instant level of comfort with this application, but we knew we had to make it much more robust. Because in our opinion, at a very minimum, every document composition tool should have at least the following elements. Users should be able to input variable data. They should be able to use shared content across multiple forms, use conditional logic, and have the ability to repeat data, and then also test multiple scenarios. Now, of course, there are a ton of other features within Ghostdraft Studio, but this is supposed to be a quick demo, so I'm going to try to do a quick demo about that. So with that in mind, here are the elements of the application. So up here on the top is what looks most like Word, and it's your style and formatting options. Over here, we have the Ghostdraft specific tools. And then over here, we have our menu options. And so currently, what the menu option that we're on is on the project view. And this is very similar to something like a Windows Explorer. What it does is it allows users to manage their templates and their project information. It's fully configurable, so you can make it look the way you want to. Now, this middle section is where we're viewing the document itself. So a lot of document composition tools struggle to allow those less technical users to put components of a form and its data together. So it makes it really difficult to see the final product. Ghostdraft has incorporated the concept of layout versus markup views, so a user can easily see what the document is going to look like when it's done and ready to go. So this is the layout view that we're on right now. And so this is what the document is going to look like when it's done and dusted. But if I come over here, I'm going to take this and click on my markup view. And what you'll see is the actual creation of the document. So you can see here we have this blue font in a black bracket, and in black brackets, this is our variable data. It's a placeholder so that there's no need to know where your data is coming from. All you need to know is what you want to call it and how you want to use it. And that work from behind the scenes of matching the data to the element is done by more technical users in our data workbench tool. So the next piece is the idea of shared content or subscriptions. And I'm going to come up here, it's a little small, but this says Farm Bureau logos. And this is the green text with double chevrons. Now, if I click on this and I say go to document, what you'll see here, if I come over here, is content that is used in multiple places. So something like logos, right? Something like an address block, or something where you want to be able to make changes in one place, but then have those sets of changes flow throughout anywhere that that content is referenced. So if you make a change to the Farm Bureau Insurance logo, you don't want to have to touch every single form. You want to be able to fix it, change it, and update it in one place and have that change flow across all of the documents where it's used. So let's quickly come back here and take a look at the concept of conditional logic. And that is that sort of if and else logic. So users can trigger different rules and content based upon different conditions. So it doesn't require you to be a highly technical user. Ghostdraft actually helps you walk through the logic and gives you tips and tools to make sure that you've got what you need here. So you can see in this instance, you have two options. If the policy is personal farm, you want it to say personal. Otherwise, if it's commercial farm, you want it to say commercial. So this leads to the question, right, where is this information coming from? And when I showed you the layout view, which I'll go back to here, for that quote summary, you can see that a lot of information was already filled in. Now, what I'm doing is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to talk about these actual scenarios. So we utilize the concept of scenarios to enable really robust testing of documents. So it allows you to review and update information in real time so that you can create those really full sets of testing scenarios, including things like difficult edge cases or something like that. So you can also see if here's the subversion again, checking it out. So if I want to make sure that I'm looking at the right thing, I can see where that's going. And then all of that information flows into the document so that you can really make sure that what you're expecting to see is what you see on the page. You can see we've got, if I drop down, we've got a couple of different options of scenarios. Now I'm going to come back to my markup view, and I'm going to talk about the final element that I really want to hit on today, and one that we find that most of our customers find is the most important. And that is the ability to group items using the concept of for each. So every line of business groups things like locations or buildings or vehicles. And so you want to do things like group things into collections so that you can create dynamic documents that grow and shrink based upon the number of elements that are being passed from the data from the data. So in this instance, we're looking at this, and it says for each location, give me location information, and for each coverage in dwelling, give me coverage information. So what we're doing is we're going through and we're able to, if there's one location and 10 coverages, you're going to see that. And if there are 10 locations and each one of those 10 locations has 10 coverages, you're going to see that. So these 5 elements, along with all of the other components of Ghostdraft Studio. So you've got using variable data, you've got the concept of subscriptions, conditional logic, scenario testing, and repeating data. That allows you to create pretty much any document that you can think of. And actually, I think we haven't had a situation where we can't create a document. Now, let's briefly touch on interactive documents. Here is a very simple manuscript document that I've created, and what it's doing is it's just going to allow someone like an underwriter to put information about a policy that may not exist within the structure of that regular policy, and they can make up that information on the fly. So what I'm going to do here is just show you that this is kind of what it looks like now, but what I'm going to do then is throw it back to Angie and have her walk you through what it looks like on the screen so that you can see that.
Okay, here we go. Show my screen. Do you see?
Yes.
Interactive. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And you hear me, apparently.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so imagine that you're in your policy administration or your claim system and you need to create a piece of interactive correspondence. So I'm going to show you 2 examples here. I'm going to show you a manuscript endorsement. I know not everyone manuscripts, and so I also am going to show you an underwriting letter, both of which I think have use cases. So even if you don't manuscript, and sometimes underwriting letters need to be interactive. So in the case of a manuscript endorsement, oh, sorry, let me say, I got lost. Imagine you're in your policy administration system and you're entering the data that's required for a particular policy, and you get to the point in that data entry where you need to include a manuscript endorsement. Ghostdraft provides integratable components that can be hooked into your policy admin system so that, let's say that in your policy admin, there's a button that you click that says, I need a manuscript. What happens is that the integratable Ghostdraft components are then presented to the user. So what you see on the screen right now are those integrated components. I'll tell you this, this little edge that we left visible just so we can talk about it. It's something that's called an iframe. So in the policy admin system, an iframe is defined, and the Ghostdraft components work inside that iframe. So from a user experience perspective, you probably don't know that it's Ghostdraft that's providing this interactive capability because it's integrated right in with the policy admin system. So in my use case, I entering data for my policy, click the button that says I need to do a manuscript. I presented with this page, and then I need to go about entering the information. So the fields that are outlined in orange are the ones that are required. So I just type in a title there. You'll see that as I enter that information, my preview over on my right-hand side updates. So you see now that the title on this manuscript endorsement is called Cyber Insurance. You'll also notice that some system-generated data has already been populated. So because we're integrated into the policy admin system, any data that's already available in the policy admin system can be provided to the interactive content or interactive document so that you don't have to enter that. So the only thing that's required from a data entry perspective is truly the interactive content. So in this example, it allows me to upload a Word document. So let's talk about that for just a second. We find manuscript endorsements to require sophisticated formatting. In many cases, that sophisticated formatting is very difficult to do in the browser, in just a box in the browser. Because of that, we've actually integrated we've integrated with Word. So I clicked this button, I selected a Word document. It's going to flow in. There it is. It flowed in right in the middle of my manuscript endorsement. If I then needed to edit that, I can do that as well. So I click my edit button, opens in Word, and then I can make any and all edits that I need to in my Word document. Just for time's sake, let's say that I'm going to select this top paragraph and make it red. When I close out of Word and save my changes, you'll then see my preview will update to reflect the fact that I made that text red. So there you go. So there you see my preview updating. So that interactivity with Word allows you to accomplish the sophisticated formatting that is needed in most manuscript endorsements while allowing all of that information to flow right into the policy production process. So this manuscript endorsement, once you're finished with it, would flow right in with all of the other forms on that policy and be produced and sent to the insured in that package, in that policy package. All right, I'm going to show you one more example of interactive. So this is an underwriting letter. You'll notice here different fields that I have to fill in. The look and feel of the user experience here is customized in Ghostdraft Studio. So the tool that Layla was showing you earlier is where you would do this customization. So in this case, I have some system data that flowed right in. I'm going to say, okay, this is the first time I've asked or sent this notice to you. This one happens to be about antique vehicles, needing more information. So you notice that when I checked off the 2 vehicles where I require additional information, those vehicles actually flowed into my preview. So you can now see that the 1924 Roadster and 57, etc. They're in. So I can see as I'm completing supplying information, I see that in my preview. And one final update here. So again, as once I finish with that update, my preview updates, and this actually brings in a whole nother, there he is, another additional remark section with the information that I read, that I entered. All right, I'm going to click submit. So I'm finished with all my data entry. I'm going to click submit. In this configuration, it allows the user to choose how that underwriting letter should be delivered. So this is configuration that can be done to allow either their set delivery methods, so all underwriting letters get printed and mailed, in the easiest case, or maybe the user needs the option to choose whether they're going to look at the document, they want to send it to through an email, maybe they want to send an SMS text message about the fact, hey, you've got a document in your email, please go look at it, or it may be a document that needs to be sent to the e-sign or e-signature technology because it requires the insured signature. So however this piece of correspondence should be delivered, it can either be configured to always deliver that way, or we can present the user with options on how things get delivered. Okay, I am going to turn back over to Lawrence and let him wrap us up.
Thanks, Angie. Thanks, Layla. Ladies and gentlemen, in summary, I just want to go over a few details about the Ghostdraft suite. Ghostdraft will help you get to market faster. It'll help you build engaging omni-channel experiences. It'll help you streamline your entire communications lifecycle, putting business users in control of authoring content and leaving data mapping to your IT folks. It'll scale faster because it's a cloud-native CCM system. It'll help you ensure compliance and consistency across all of your outbound communications from a branding perspective, but also from a language perspective. It'll help you drive down operational costs significantly, and it'll help you finally boost customer loyalty and customer retention. All very important things to your organization, I'm sure you'll agree. I want to thank everybody again for joining us today. I hope you gained a lot of value out of the session. To help you further on your customer communications transformation journey, we'll share a few resources to help you get started, including a CCM assessment that scores your current capabilities and helps you determine your need for a new platform, as well as the Ccm Capability Checklist that I talked about a little earlier. Of course, if you'd like to learn more about the Ghostdraft platform, we'd be happy to tailor a demonstration for you to talk to you about your communication needs in general and give you a personalized demo of the solution. With that, again, thank you very much for your time today. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.